So, you know how I love weekends, right? They're like a slice of heaven, especially the rainy ones when you can cozy up at home and dive into anime land. Speaking of which, I indulged in a serious marathon of fantasy anime movies today, the kind that take you on a crazy joyride through magic and monsters and everything in between. Do you remember me talking nonstop about Spirited Away some time back? Yep, I revisited the classic Miyazaki masterpiece today. It always fuels my creativity in unique ways. Before I knew it, I found my digital pad on my lap and my stylus dancing across the screen, sketching out these fantastic characters, reimagining them in a brand new light. I've always said that anime characters have an otherworldly charm, don't you agree? As I got lost in the lines, the colors, the shadows, I felt like I was breathing life into them, in my own little way. Nina and Eric caught me online in the midst of the art flow. They suggested I take the sketches to Twitch. Can you imagine that? Me, live streaming my creative process. But there was something truly electrifying about the idea. Sharing my love of anime, my raw sketches, my not-so-perfect line work, bearing it all for gamers and design enthusiasts alike, it kind of felt thrilling. Picture this. Exchanging comments, sneak peeking into their creative corners, it's like letting someone step into your mind, however chaotic it might be. It's like art-tech convergence at its peak. If all goes as planned, I guess Eric might be peeking into my stream during his coding intermissions. Nina, too, would be taking tech breaks with my art. Oh, and speaking of tech, Eric's been grinding away on TurboTek. Apparently there's a new feature that's nearly ready for testing. I'm looking forward to it. We've been cheering him on, of course. After all, what are friends for? And eating. What's life without the occasional indulgence, right? Nina, Eric, and I are planning to try out that new pizzeria flavor. Remember the one we were talking about? I swear, my stomach does a happy dance at the mere thought of it. But anyway, we've too much going on, don't we? Digital art, gaming, and an insatiable love for cheesy pizza. It's all in the balanced diet of geekdom. So that's it from my end. A day wrapped in anime and sprinkled with some artistic endeavors. Oh, and not to forget, the promising plan of streaming my sketching sessions. It seems like the virtual realm is starting to feel more real than the actual one these days. But hey, wouldn't have it any other way. So I kicked off my day diving deeper into the world of VR designs. Took this self-paced course, aimed at upgrading my skills in the field. It's amazing, stepping back into the shoes of a student brimming with anticipation and a thirst to learn. You know how much I admire Ivy, right? She's the workshop conductor, and I love how she's always ahead of the curve in terms of tech and design. And then there's Luke, my mentor. His guidance has been invaluable in my journey, always there to offer advice, cheer me on, or simply lend a listening ear when things got a little too overwhelming. Today was all about learning and growing, and yeah, it felt pretty darn good. I caught up with Nina and Eric as well, in between absorbing those VR lessons. Says a lot about my multitasking skills, or maybe they're just too interesting to ignore. Anyway, we had this amusing chat about incorporating aspects from Spirited Away into my upcoming VR terrain. You know what they say about inspiration, right? It strikes in the most improbable places. And before I knew it, we somehow ended up discussing space food, of all things. Seriously, only Eric could go from tech talk to space burgers in a heartbeat. The guy's food cravings are next-level hilarious. Laughed my head off at that segue of his, I can tell you that. It's always fun chatting with those guys, keeps my day lively for sure. And then came Nina's exciting revelation about the lunar eclipse tonight. I'm planning on capturing it in a sketch, give my digital art a touch of the cosmic beauty. Nina's always offering these random tidbits that trigger my artistic senses. It sparked this discussion about a VR representation of the galaxy, and they think I can make it look glamorous. Flattering, of course, but hey, who's complaining? But honestly, the best part of my day? Visualizing the concept of ordering food from space. It's incredible how outrageous concepts suddenly seem conceivable when you're delving into the possibilities that VR brings. And in between all this, there's my job, my amazing, yet demanding job. Never a dull moment here. It's a bit like juggling different ideas, concepts, projects all at the same time, but who's backing down? Certainly not me, right? So that's how today twirled around. Now it's time to get back to my screen and meet some awaiting VR. Believe it or not, creating digital art spaces keeps me grounded. Sounds like an oxymoron, I know. Okay, need to get back to work. So, it's another day of diving headfirst into all things VR. Money can't buy the joy of creating something from scratch, you know. Imagining this ambient relaxation space with a blend of nature's visuals. Birds flying, streams flowing, winds whispering, with calming tunes. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Look who's been a busy bee, right? Throw in a heady mix of innovation, and voila, you've got yourself a digital nirvana that's one of a kind. There's Rita, my VR meditation expert, and Kendall, an environmental scientist, both adding their 2 bits to the project. It's like being a part of this cool, diverse brain trust. Ideas sparkle brightest when they collide, don't they? In the middle of all the brainstorming, I took a quick break to share a laugh or two with my lovable doofus pair, Nina and Eric. Their sense of humor is a total stress buster. Nina was all excited about incorporating Tibetan singing bowl music in the VR relaxation space. I appreciate her suggestion. It's such a soulful melody. She's onto something there. And then, there's Eric, always cheering me from the sidelines. His faith in my designs makes me believe in myself a bit more. We're tech nerds, yeah, but there's nothing nerdy about the kind of camaraderie we share. Oh, I need to tell you about lunch. Grub time is sacred. I relished a burger with avocado. Seriously, why is avocado so underrated? It's a treat on its own, and it's taken my burger game to the next level. Between all the tech chat and food talk, there's always some musical banter. Nina's been obsessed with this new track from Bandicoot Dreams. The guitar solo in it is absolutely neck-breaking. Honestly, I can't remember a day when life wasn't whirring past me like a roller coaster ride. Each day crazier than the last, but equally thrilling. I wouldn't have it any other way. Didn't I tell you once how brilliance can be forged out of chaos? Well, I sure do feel like a bona fide blacksmith, hammering away into the wee hours of the morning, creating something extraordinary. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with my VR designs, immersing this crazy, beautiful world of mine into the magic of virtual reality.